Welcome students. Today, we are going to see week number 39. In week number 39, we are going to discuss about the topic of assembling techniques, part 1. Let's see the objectives of this topic. You shall be able to name the common techniques used for assembling components. Distinguish between the application of doveling, pinning, staking, brushing, and use of adhesives for assembling components. State the situations in which bolts and nuts are used. State the advantages of using bolts and nuts. State the applications of the different types of bolts. State the situations in which studs are used. First, we are going to discuss about the definition of assembly. Assembly is the process of putting together components on an assembly line. In addition to this, it also refers to an assembled product or part made in this way. In either case, assembly carries the connotation of putting parts together, making a complete product to perform a function. Let's see the method of assembling techniques. In machine shop assembly, various methods are used for securing components together. A few of the common methods are: first, doveling; second, pinning; third, staking; fourth, brushing or hard soldering; and last, using of adhesives. Now, see the methods one by one. First, doveling. This is used for accurate positioning of two or more parts. This allows the parts to be separated and relocated in position. Different types of dovels are used depending on the type of assembly. The components dovelled are always fixed with retaining screws in the assembly. Second, pinning. This is also a method of locating and securing components together. Pins are of different types. 1. Parallel pins. 2. Cotter pins. 3. Taper pins. And last, spring pins. Let's see the different types of pins one by one. First one is parallel pins. These are fitted like dovels in reamed holes and held in position by a retaining ring. Second one is cotter pins. Third type is taper pins. Taper pins will position parts accurately. The component can be dismantled easily and assembled without any change in location. The holes for fitting taper pins are finished using taper pin reamers. And fourth, spring pins. This eliminates the need for drilling and reaming of the assembly together. The spring pin adjusts itself in case of slight misalignment. Now, we are going to see the third method of assembly technique, staking. This is a method of retaining parts in an assembly in which a portion or all of a component is forced to flow on the other component. This increases the efficiency of the fit. Fourth method is brushing and hard soldering. This is a process of joining metals by using layer of non-ferrous metal between the surface to be joined. The alloy used for brushing is known as spelter, combination of copper and zinc. And the last method is adhesives. The adhesives commonly used are epoxy adhesives. This adhesive gives a strong bond between materials to be assembled. This is not affected by moderate moisture or heat. It is usually supplied in 2 containers or tubes. one is resin, and the other is the hardener. Next, we are going to discuss about thread jointer, that is, bolts and nuts. These are generally used to clamp two parts together. When bolts and nuts are used, if the thread is stripped, a new bolt and nut can be used. But in the case of a screw directly fitted in the component, when threads are damaged, the component may need extensive repair or replacement. Let's see the types of bolts. Depending on the type of application, different types of bolts are used. The first one is bolts with clearance hole. Second one is body fit bolt. Third one is anti-fatigue bolt. And the last type is studs. Now, briefly see the types of bolts, one by one. The first one is bolts with clearance hole. This is the most common type of fastening arrangement using bolts. The size of the hole is slightly larger than the bolt clearance hole. Slight misalignment in the matching hole will not affect the assembly. Second one is body fit bolt. This type of bolt assembly is used when the relative movement between the workpieces has to be prevented. The diameter of the threaded portion is slightly smaller than the shank diameter of the bolt. The bolt shank and the hole are accurately machined for achieving perfect mating. Third one is anti-fatigue bolt. This type of bolt is used when the assembly is subjected to alternating load conditons continuously. Connecting rod, big ends in engine assembly are examples of this application. The shank diameter is in contact with the hole in a few places, and other portions are relieved to give clearances. And the last type is studs. Studs are used in assemblies which are to be separated frequently. When excessively tightened, the variation in the thread pitch allows the fine thread or nut end to strip. This prevents damage to the casting. With the remembrance of this topic, we are going to play one quiz game. The question is, what is the name of that pin type given below? The options are A. Parallel pin, B. Taper pin, C. Cotter pin, and D. Spring pin. And the answer is B. Taper pin. With this, we are completed the part 1. And I will be back with part 2 of week number 39. Thank you.